Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Marty Rodriguez with Century 21, Marty Rodriguez. And this is my co-host,
Isaí de la Fuente, and welcome to Real Talk with Marty. So, Marty, anything different with the market since the last time we talked?
Well, I think since the last time we talked, we were talking about interest rates coming down. And I think that has really fueled the market again. Now the holidays are over. And I think we're finding right now that there's a lot of buyers out there looking. Yeah. In fact, I just sold 2 houses over asking, put them in escrow with no appraisal contingency. So that kind of gives you a little bit of indication that, you know, it's still a seller's market. And people are waiting for the market to crash. The market's not going to crash. Not anytime soon, because what's going on is that you had so many people that have interest rates between, well, I would say 2.5% to 4%. So those people most likely, unless they have to, are not going to move. So that will keep the inventory down. But I think there's a lot of reasons for people to move that, and they just don't know that they can actually.
Just don't know.
Yeah, so that maybe, you know, we can change inventory, because there's people that, you know, want to move up, people that want to move down. We have people that want to move out of state. And then I think one real important feature, because of Proposition 19, remember that passed in 2021, that allows people, seniors, I don't want to say senior because 55 is not a senior, but they say they want to call you a senior at 55. But anyway, if you're 55 or older, you can move your property taxes. Before Proposition 19, you could only move it 1 time. Now you can move it 3 times, which is really nice. And before, you were limited to only whatever you sold your existing house for, you had to buy equal value. If you bought the next year, you could go up 5%. If you bought the second year, because you're only allowed 2 years to replace it, you could go up 10%. And that was it. That was the limit, right?
Yeah.
But now you can go above that. And I think the other really valuable thing, what I didn't realize, is also that, let's say you don't qualify for that house. You can actually bring in your, one of your kids as a co-signer.
To help you qualify for the new purchase.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fantastic.
It is. So I think that, that there's, I think, a lot of good reasons for people, to move. And I think if they realize that, because a lot of people don't know that they can move that tax.
Yeah, no, and that's obviously a very important factor for somebody wanting to move, right? Because they're talking, I'm hearing that a lot. That people are saying it's going to cost me too much money to purchase the new house because the new tax rate or whatnot. And so that's very, very important. So how much, and speaking of Prop 19, how much time frame does a homeowner have by the time that they sell and then they have to purchase the new house?
Okay, so let's say they sold their house. Yeah. They actually have 2 years to purchase the house to transfer the tax, and the first year they can buy up to 105% and still keep that same tax. And the second year they can go up 110% and be able to keep the, that same tax that they have now, as long as they stay in that price. But now they can actually buy a house for more money. They only pay taxes, normal taxes, on the differential. For example, if you let's say you bought your house for $200,000. And you are now assessed at $300,000. Okay. And you just say you're paying $3,500 a year in property taxes. Now you want to buy a house for $1 million. So what you're going to be able to do is take the taxes, the $350,000 tax base here, and you're going to move it to the $1 million. So you're going to be able to get the lower taxes, even though you're paying $1 million for that house.
Got it.
And if you want to buy a house for more than that, you can also do that as well. They'll only tax you normal on the amount above.
The difference, basically.
The differential, yes. So
no, that's great. And then, and can somebody actually purchase a home before they sell and then still transfer the taxes over when they sell the property?
That's a really good question. And, a lot of people, when they get older, they get scared not knowing what they, can they find a house? And let's say they're in a situation where they can afford to buy before they sell. So they can buy their home that they want to move to first, and they have 2 years to sell their other property. Once they sell it, then they can move that tax to the house that they've already purchased. So they can do it in reverse as well, which is, I think, a great thing for some of the people that can afford to do that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing,
Yeah.
and you're right. A lot of people just don't know about this. Now, can we go back a little bit to you were talking about the percentages, the rates. For example, if at 105, 110% that they can purchase, can you touch on that a little bit more and just
Yes.
kind of?
Okay. So let's say that I'm just picking $1 million house, and then they can go 5% above. But see, if they buy it at the same time, they can stay at the same price if they
Okay.
buy it on the same day. But let's say they buy a week later, they can actually go up another 5% and still move that tax over. So whatever 5% is, of the million, then they can move that over to that amount. Let's say they don't buy for 2 years. Now they can go another to a total of 10%. So that's going to be another $100,000. So it's 1.1 million, and they can still keep this tax if they buy in the second year.
Got it.
So
And anything above that is the difference is what they'll get taxed on in your rate.
But but I think if you find a really good agent, for me, I want to protect I want to protect all my clients, but I let my seniors know I want to know that you have a house, so you can sell your house contingent on your purchase. In other words, you're not moving until I find you a house, so that you go from here to there without without any problems, because it's emotional already, as it is for somebody to pack up a whole house and move it somewhere else. And so that's something that I think is really important for my clients, if I can get that done for them.
Yeah, because I think there are a lot of people who think that, once they put the house on the market, they get they accept an offer, that they're going to be left homeless if they can't find another house, right? But that's
Right.
not the case.
And it's not the case. I mean, if you find a buyer that says, no, I don't want to wait, then you know what? Let's wait for the next buyer, the buyer that's going to work with the seller, and it's a win-win. It's a win for the buyer, he gets a house, and it's a win for the seller because he's going to buy the house that he's going to move to and do it all in one move. Because if you got to move twice, that's another expense that most clients can't afford to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And then going back to Prop 19, what if the current homeowner who is above 55, right?
Yes.
Inherited the property. That person's parents purchased the home years ago. They inherited the property. They weren't the original buyers. Can they also transfer the rate over to the new purchase if they wanted to sell and buy another house?
You mean sell it to their
So the parents purchased it, let's say, years ago in the 50s.
right?
They've passed. The kids inherited the property. They live in the home.
I don't believe that they can double dip, because now you're keeping the tax for the kid, and then they want to take the tax with them. So that would be like double dipping.
I see.
So and actually that's a good question, because a lot of these rules are so new on Proposition 19. The old proposition was Proposition 60. So Proposition 19 is the new rule. And like I said, if you're, let's say you live with your parents and your parents passed away and you're living in that house, and you decide, I want to sell this house, in the next couple of months, you can still do that because it's your personal residence. You live there.
Yeah.
So you still qualify to move to another property, even if it's less than 2 years.
Got it. And
But as far as double dipping, you keeping the tax base and then them moving the tax base, I'm not sure that they would allow that, because you're double dipping. That's actually a good question. I'm going to call the assessor and ask him that question.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's very interesting because, yes, I mean, right now, of course, prices have increased so much, right? That it's a natural fear, I think, that people might have, and it's something that we're commonly hearing. Because they're gonna sell their house, but even on top of that, the rate's a little bit higher than what they probably are paying right now as well. So any way that can help them save their money, save some money, is ideal. And I think having the right agent represent you is what's key, right? That's what's really important. Knowing having an agent that knows what they're doing.
And the right agent, for many reasons. I know that a lot of times I'm looking at the tax situation for my client. I'm not a tax expert, and I don't claim to be, but I know enough about it to protect my clients. Like, I talked to a man yesterday, and it's him and his wife, but then he told me we're not married. Well, I was assuming that he was married when he told me, well, we're not married. I go, that changes everything. I said, because if I sell your house, I said, you get $500,000 of gain tax free, okay? And if you're not married, you only get 250, so you're going to have a tax liability. And I don't want to get too involved in this, but anyway, but that's the kind of agent I am. I'm going to protect my client. I'm not going to just sell his house without telling him all of these things that could later hurt him. And then he would have a big tax bill and say, well, Marty didn't tell me. And most agents would say, well, it's not my job. It's not my job, but it is my job because, you know, I need to help them and protect them because I know enough about everything to direct them to the CPA to make sure that they don't make mistakes. So he was like so thankful. I was on the phone with him last night for a long time. And he goes, oh my God, Marty. He goes, well, I think I'm going to have to ask her to marry me. So, and they probably will if they decide to sell that house. They need to be married to get the, you know, to get the $500,000 of gain tax free on their income taxes. So, yeah.
That's funny. That is funny. So does the homeowner have to apply before any of the transactions to be able to, take advantage of the Prop 19? Do they have to apply for anything before they buy, before they sell, before anything?
No, you don't have to apply for anything. You're going to sell your home, and then you're going to buy the other home, and then you're going to fill out the form that you're going to file to the LA, whatever county it is, the county assessor's office. Okay, and you'll fill out the information. It's pretty simple, pretty clear, and then you file it. A lot of times I used to drop it off down at the assessor's office. I wanted to make sure I got it stamped and that they received it because I don't want them saying later, well, we never received it. Yeah. But you can mail it in but make sure you get a receipt so that they received it because they are behind. They're usually pretty slow. It takes them quite a few months to catch up to get your reassessment in. So if the previous owner was paying taxes on $1 million and yet you're moving only 200, at first you got to pay on his tax bill and then wait to get reimbursed. Okay, so you want to make sure you file those documents immediately if that's the case.
It takes some time.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. Like I said, I do it for my clients. So,
and I was you brought up the gains, right? If you're married, it's up to $500,000, and an individual $250,000. And I was just thinking, because the homes have increased so much, there's a lot of people out there who are probably at the limit, right, of their gains, or have surpassed.
And that's why they're not moving.
And that's why as well.
That's one of the reasons that they're not moving. So I think my understanding is that they're trying to pass a bill. I haven't seen it. I've just heard people talk about it, where as a single individual, you would get $500,000 of gain tax-free, and as a married couple, you would get $1 million of gain tax-free because the prices have gone up so high. So a lot of people are not selling because they don't want to pay all those taxes. So if they can pass that bill, you're going to see more inventory come on the market. Because I've been on appointments where, I did all the calculations for the client, and they go, "Oh, Marty, that's too much money. I can't afford to pay that much money in taxes." So I think if that gets adjusted on the gain, I think you're going to see more houses come on the market.
But even then, that might take a while.
That might take a while, and we don't know when. Like
we don't know when that's going to happen.
No.
Because I look at it as a homeowner, right? Look at it as a homeowner. And if I'm, in my home and I'm right at my limit of my gains, right at 500,000, the way the market is right now, prices continue to increase. If I want to move, say, closer to my kids or closer to my grandkids, right now would probably be the ideal time for me to do that because the longer I wait, probably the more I'm going to get taxed on, right?
If they don't change that tax law.
If they don't change that tax law, because that might take a while. But let's just compare. I look at it, compare apples to apples. Let's say that in 2 years, my home increases by 100,000, and the home that I'm looking to buy also increases by 100,000. Well, guess what? If I'm at that limit of my gains, I'm going to get taxed on that extra 100,000.
On the extra 100,000.
But I'm not going to get a discount on that extra 100,000 that I'm going to pay on the new purchase.
Correct.
So if moving to a new location to be closer to family or whatever the case is something within my plans in the near future, the sooner the better is ideal. especially if you're right at that limit, right? You're at the cusp of your gains getting,
Right.
surpassing your gains or whatnot.
Right. Well, everybody needs to get on board and push for that tax law to change, so that way we can have more inventory on the market.
Starting the
A
movement.
lot more people will move.
Let's start the movement.
Let's start the movement.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
No, that's great, because there are, every case is unique. Everybody's situation is unique, and I think so we can't sit here and say for everybody, if you are a homeowner, it benefits you to sell. No, but it's very important for a homeowner to talk to somebody that knows what they're doing, maybe, and have everything outlined in front of you, and have a plan laid out. Get all the ducks in order. Have a plan laid out so that as a homeowner, you can make the best decision possible for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about selling a home and moving into a different location for whatever reason that is, it might help you save a lot of money by talking to the right people.
Right. And in fact, I went on an appointment this weekend, and her husband has passed away, and she is overwhelmed by the work that her house needs. But I said, let's just do homework. Let's lay out all the numbers. Let's see if we have any tax liabilities. And then I want you to confirm with the CPA to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. Okay. Yeah. So that when we make the move, we know exactly how much money she has to work with and what she needs to pay off. So, I like to do that, consult with them and make sure that we don't make any mistakes when it comes to selling and any tax ramifications that they could possibly have.
Well, you're looking out for your clients.
Yes.
You're looking out for their best interest. And sometimes that means you're not going to get a sale because sometimes it means that it doesn't benefit them to sell the house. And that's okay.
And so be it.
We're here to help.
Yeah, so be it. Because, in the long run, when you take care of people, they will help take care of you too. So, they will tell other people what a good job you did for them. And they didn't make a mistake because of you. And, you will receive other business from other, sources.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is an interesting market for sure. We started off this conversation about just kind of talking about the market, right? And it's interesting. This is the way I see it, how the market has been in just these first 2 years of 2024, because we're just in the second week of 2024.
Yes.
But it's felt like if I'm at a horse track and the horses are, behind the gate, ready to take off, and then all of a sudden, right after New Year's passed, that gate got open, and then it's just this frenzy.
And the market went crazy again.
And
yes.
We're seeing all this, activity, a lot of traffic. I'm out showing properties to clients, and even, for example, when I go to an open house or our open houses, we're seeing a lot of traffic. But even when I go to a house just that I have an appointment, I'm having to wait in some properties
wait in line to even
wait in line for the other agent to finish, and then by the time I finish, there's one or two agents with their clients waiting after me as well.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that all over again.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just by the offers that I'm getting on the properties, on my listings, I'm seeing it too. Multiple offers and over asking, removing the appraisal contingency.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
it's key just to have the right representation. We just cannot say that enough. Having the right representation, because even for buyers, just getting the offer packaged the right way to give you the best opportunity possible to get your offer accepted is very, very important.
Right. And then for sellers, this is a good time for them to sell. And I think that if they are aware of all the benefits of Proposition 19, for example, and that will motivate them to move as well, because I know there's people that they want to downsize, they don't want that big house anymore, and so will work very well for them, and it won't change their their debt that they have as far as maintaining a house. They'll have less by downsizing.
Now, the 2-year period, is that like a hard timeline? And I asked
for transferring your property taxes.
Yeah, so let's just say the homeowner sells and can't find a property, or they wait for a little while, and then they're like in month 24.
Nope, they've got 2 years. It's a hard number. Yes, yeah, you got to do it within the 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Either when you bought before or you're going to buy after. It's a 2-year span.
Now, and the homeowner, and this is interesting. I'm sorry I'm asking all these questions about it, but I I love all this. So, the homeowner, do they have to live in the property? Does it have to be a primary residence for a certain period of time for them to be able to do it? Is it 2 years?
No, in fact, I was just reading up on that. I thought that they had to live there for 2 years, but they don't. It just has to be their personal residence. So if they've established personal residency, then they can transfer it.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
And does the purchase of the new home, does that one have to be similar to the one that they're selling or their current home?
No, no. It can be less, which would be, a lot of them are buying less because they're buying down, but they can purchase at a higher price as well, and be able to move up to the value of what they sold their first house for. Anything above that will be taxed at a normal rate.
And what if the homeowner currently has a single family residence, and one of their kids is going to help them purchase, but they want to purchase a 2-unit so that the son or the daughter lives in 1 unit?
Only because I have a personal experience with that. Okay, so if they're going to have a 2-unit, they see you can only live in one, and they might only give you half that value.
Oh.
Okay, I had a client, I sold their property in LA, and they rented one of the units. They lived in one. They did not allow them to transfer because they rented one of the units. And then I had another one in Rosemead, and they had denied her. And then we went back. She had her house, and her mom lived in the back. She goes, look, I've never rented anything on this property. I lived here. I took care of my mom here for 40 years. And so we went to Catherine Barger's office. Like, she's awesome. Catherine Barger, the supervisor here, by the way. And her office helped my clients. And, we filed the case to the LA County tax assessor, and my clients won. So they were able to transfer that tax to Laverne from Rosemead, because they could prove that they had never rented that house, even on their income taxes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so they asked him for their income taxes, and they had enough supporting documentation. So that was a good one. It was a good fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
You don't want to be on the other side when you're in a fight with Marty. You really don't.
but I've had a lot of experience with the assessor's office. Just helping my clients on different situations.
That's good.
In fact, even my own personal situations with the assessor. I remember one time I bought a property, and they because you think that you buy a property for $300,000, you think they can't tax me more than $300,000. Why, yes, they can if they feel that you underbought the property, right? So they were taxing me for $450,000. I said, oh no, thank God I had all the pictures of the property. So I went down and I said, no, that house is only worth $330,000. And I showed them all the pictures, and it was a distressed property. So they reduced my taxes to what I paid for it. So I've learned so much just being in the business for 46 years. What you can do, what you can't do,
and also in purchasing and investing in properties as well. So
myself.
You've also been in those shoes
yes.
as a consumer as well.
And we're able to help our clients too when they're in trouble, or guide them back. I know I was working with Jessie, that works with us, and she remodeled her house here. So we actually did all the calculations on her, improvements, because she went back and got some of it readjusted. So, it's just like, no doesn't mean no sometimes. Sometimes we get past no. You got to just fight a little bit harder, to help people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works for them, like it did for my lady who transferred her taxes from Rosemead on that duplex to Laverne.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Question for you. Anybody out there that is just considering, selling their house or something like that, any advice that you would give them that maybe can help them just maximize the sale of their home without having to invest too much money?
Well, and actually, that's what I'm doing right now. I just came from a house that I'm going to list, and it's a wreck. So we are completely redoing everything. And I went, the kitchen's really small. Let's just redo the kitchen so we can maximize the dollar. And so I have everybody over there. We're putting the prices together. So I'll get it fixed really nice. And so, because now I feel like I'm a project manager too. And then tomorrow I'm meeting the same contractor on another house I'm listing here in Glendora. And he's going to meet me there as well to see what we need to do to fix that one up. And I've got a couple of projects, 2 projects going right now that are finishing up on listings I'm going to take. Because I went there and I said, let's do this, fix that. And, you're going to maximize your, sales price. So, we do so many things, like I said, and I'm a project manager because I'm on these contractors making sure that they're on time and, so we can get that house on the market.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's fantastic.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But I love it, that's me.
See the smile on your face.
I know.
You just glow when you talk about it.
I do. I know, because I feel in the last 10 years, I've become, after the repo market, I became more of a, not just a listing agent, almost like, not I guess a designer, decorator, contractor.
Yeah. You're managing all these.
I'm managing
you have all these hats
aspects
on.
and telling them, okay, you guys want top dollar. This is what we need to do. And and what's nice is that most people will listen to me and they'll get it done, and they're so happy. Especially now, because when the house is perfect, that's when they really get bid up.
Yeah. And what about somebody who maybe just doesn't have a budget for doing any upgrades or repairs or something like that? Would you maybe say just something that would be really important that can help? For example, could be decluttering.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Decluttering.
In fact, I go through the house usually, and I have them, clean up, declutter. Let's get rid of this, get rid of that. And like I said, most people know that I'm not there to hurt their feelings. I'm there to help them, maximize their, the price on the home, to make it presentable so that people want to buy it.
Yeah.
And because a lot of buyers, they don't have the extra money, so they want the house fixed up.
Yeah.
They don't have the extra money to fix it up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it kind of even just starts, for example, even with the pictures. It's all visual, right? Because even a consumer, again, now has access to all this technology. They go on websites, they see the pictures of the house. If in the pictures, it's not something that maybe looks interesting to them because of, whatever. It could be the clutter, it could be anything. It could be the quality of the pictures. They're probably not going to be interested in looking at the house, and that's a potential buyer for that house.
Yeah. You know what? It just amazes me when I see some of these realtors. They took pictures and they're like, you can barely see them. They took it with their phone. And I'm thinking, how can they get away with that? It's like,
well, because sometimes it's on landscape, sometimes it's horizontal. The pictures, I'm like, wait, what's
exactly.
going on?
And usually, I'm going through the house. Okay, let's clear the counters. Okay, no rugs on the floor. No towels. In the kitchen, in the bathrooms. I try to make it as sparse and as clean as possible, because it's really funny when you see it through the camera lens. It looks so much nicer and cleaner.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I'm looking at all that. Pressure wash the house, wash the windows. Let's get it. The things that don't cost a whole lot either. If they can't afford a whole lot.
Yeah.
But usually we're doing a lot more, and I try to help them out and get them painted, and sometimes redoing floors. Like this one I just came from today. That one's kind of major. That's floors, scraping the ceilings, new kitchen, landscaping in the back. It was a condo, and then they're finishing up one for me, and that was pretty much just paint, floor, and carpet.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 3 units I'm doing. Like one's got a complete remodel, and then the back just going to paint. So. These are all the things that we do to help the clients to, sell at the best market price.
Yeah, maximize the sale of the house.
The sale of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our job.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm Marty the realtor and Marty the project manager. But it's good. I love it.
And so, what would you say again to potential sellers out there, people who are homeowners and just are on the fence? Just unsure of the market right now, whether it's the right time to sell or not?
I think, give us a call. We can, like I said, we'll sit down and do homework and see if it's the right thing, the right fit for them to move, because we have to look at the whole picture, depending on how long they've been there, how much money they've, made on the property. They're looking to move up, move down, move out of state. I've had a lot of clients, have moved out of state in the last couple of years. Although I was just reading in the Silicon Valley, they really have a housing shortage because the companies are bringing everybody back into the office. And so eventually that's going to happen here too. People are going to bring the people back into the office. And a lot of people that moved away thinking they could work remote are going to have to move back closer to work or find another job. Yeah.
One of the two.
So that would be interesting. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know a lot of people have, been working remotely, which, it's kind of like been the thing for the last few years.
Yeah. But remember also what I think what COVID taught us is that the most important and the most valuable asset you have is your home. That's why home became so important. Pools got really popular because people are spending more time at home, and I think they're spending more time at home now as well. So
that's so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And you have a lot of families multi-families also who are living in all one home as well ever since COVID, right?
Oh my God! And the big ticket are ADUs. You can go to the cities and you can check out all the permits that are being pulled, and people are adding ADUs to their property. I have 2 clients. I actually sold their houses, and they're building ADUs at their kids' house, and they're going to be living in the backyard of their children's property because they have nice sized lots. Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of that, I think. And actually, and they're all excited. The kids are excited. My clients were excited. Just to be together and be closer to the grandkids. So it's nice. Yeah.
Why not? That's great.
No, exactly.
Get to spoil the grandkids.
Yeah. And like I said, home is, I'm just such a big fan of, home ownership. We spoke last week that, the cost of rent is going sky high. And, if you can afford to buy a home and have the place to call your own, I think that's really important because your family's going to have, stability, security, and I think that's important.
Yeah, and then you get to do with your property pretty much almost
what you want to do.
Do with it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what's great. Wow, this has been great.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I love this conversation with you.
It's been fun again, as usual.
It's been fun. I mean, is there anything else?
And hopefully, we've helped you. And if you have any questions, give us a call. We're here to help. And, for a consultation, if you just want to talk and plan, maybe you're not going to move for the next 3, 4, 5 years, but you want to plan ahead of time. We're here for you.
Yes, we are. That's right. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you again.
See you next time.
All right.